The issue of state police is really causing mayhem everywhere in the states. Buhari's excuse against state police does not hold water, Ayo Adebanjo says President's woeful performance reason he can't name his successor. Acting leader of the Pan-Yoruba social political group, Afenifere Ayo Adebanjo, on Thursday said President Muhammadu Buhari has no justification to oppose the establishment of state police, saying the excuse offered by him that the force, if allowed to come into existence, would be used by state governors against their political opponents does not hold water. The elder statesman said this while speaking with Tribune online in his reaction to the president's interview on Channels Television, pointing out that state police was a factor of federalism and therefore could not be subjected to the like or dislike of anyone, more so that the call for it was by popular demand of people of Nigeria. This man called President Muhammadu Buhari, this man really deserves a slap to wake up from his sleep, because I seriously do not understand what kind of a president is this. So when it comes to the southern people doing something that will help their people, then they will tell us that it's against the rules or something this, that, something that. So are they trying to tell us now that it's against them, that if the states should bring a police, if they should create their own police, then it's going to cause mayhem in the whole state? They're going to use it against their own political opponents, that. Just listen to the rubbish this man has just vomited. If so, then why is there ISBA in the north? Is ISBA not a state police? Because I seriously do not understand this at all. Well, this was, as the Afenifere leader said, nothing qualified President Buhari to name his successor ahead of the 2023 general election, because according to him, his performance in office had been woeful and nothing to cheer about it. Thank you, sir. Your head, dear. Chief Adebanjo faulted Buhari's excuse that the state police would be deployed by state governors against their political foes, querying whether the federal government was also not using the Nigerian police against the state. It is what I have been telling you people. He would not want to have state police established. He is saying that the state police would be used by the state governors against their political opponents. Is the federal government not using the Nigerian police against the state? Exactly the same way they are using the police in the east, using it to kill innocent youth for no reason. It is around nonsense. State police is factor of federalism. It is not about its own individual choice or desire. There is no question about that. He has no right to say that we can't have it. It is what the Constitution says. That's what the people want, he said. On the excuse offered by Buhari that his successor would be assassinated should he name him or show open support, the Afenifere leader said, rather, the president cannot recommend anyone to replace him because his performance in office had been woefully adding that such person would have nothing to effect his campaign-based Buhari non-performance in office. What has he done to qualify him to recommend anyone as his successor? Asked me. He cannot recommend anybody as his successor because his performance in office has been woeful. Okay, what we are praying for is God to guide us. What has he done to campaign for the person he would be showing support for? He cannot recommend anybody for succession. He has nothing for any successor to follow. He retreated. Speaking further, Chief Adebanjo maintained that there was an urgent need to restructure the country by using the 1999 Constitution and return to the 1963 Constitution, which the country's founding fathers handed over to the citizens, warning against that Nigerian will break, while the citizen would die in slavery should they go into election with the present constitution, which he described as military imposed document. The problem we are having is that the military came, changed the constitution, they met on ground and brought their own constitution to be ruling with civilians, and when they left, they still left their constitution behind to be ruling us. It would not work, Chief Adebanjo said. That's why Nigeria will break until they set aside this constitution, and that is why I continue to tell people, for you to go into election under this constitution, you will die in slavery. He won. A nation newspaper and multiple online platforms claim Brazil has adopted Yoruba as its official language, and that the language would be included in primary and secondary schools curriculum. The claim is false. The content of the article published by This Is Ayo, they rebuked it. Well, if what Pa Adebanjo said, if we will look at it clearly or closely, we will say that he is saying the truth. What has the president done for us that he thinks he can bring up a successor for us to follow? Well, to me, this man is a liar, because there is no way we are going to follow any of his garbage or nonsense that he has to say. This man called President Muhammadu Buhari is a liar, a fraud, and a backstabber, because that is what he is. President Muhammadu Buhari lied to us and came into power, so that's why I said he's a fraud. Everything he promised to do for we Nigerians, he didn't do any of it. Instead, he made so many people to go into so many terrible things. The increase of robbery in Nigeria is 100%. The increase of rituals, 100%. The increase of hunger, 100%. The increase of so many horrible things happening to the people in Nigeria has increased 100%. So how are we not going to say that he's a fraud? Well, we all know he's a fraud and everybody knows about it. That is why they do not have any right to tell us that he has a successor for us. President Muhammadu Buhari, you lie, because even if you mention the name of who you want to succeed you, we don't really bloody care, because we will not vote for who you choose, because we know that you yourself, you are a failure to this country. So there is no way your successor is going to be more, or should I say, your successor might even be worse than you are. As for this police, they're talking about that they will not going to allow state police to hold. All this one, now garbage that they talk, they never know what thing that they talk at all. Before they go talk all this trash to we southern people, they should go to the north and banish Isba first. When that is done, then we might then say that maybe something or what they are saying really holds a ground. Talking about state police or federal police, what difference does it hold? If they want to use them, they will use them, be it a state or a federal. It does not really matter to those politicians, because all of them are all birds of same feathers. Very evil people who only use innocent children for their own benefits. That's all. Well, you can go to the comment section and share your take on this article. Thanks for listening.